Hello Pyromaniacs! So, some of you guys actually asked me to make a comparison video of Fire and Frost in PvP. Some of you guys wanted to know what spec is more preferable or more viable in PvP, which I'm sure like more than 90% of you guys know by now. It's kind of late for me to be putting out this video now, but I still think it's better late than never, and I feel like this could help a small percentage of people out there that are still trying to start playing Mage now. So this video might not be helpful to you personally, but this video is for the newer mages like I said, so this one's for you, newbie. Okay, so I actually want to start by going over the Frost spec first. Although I don't actually play Frost, I feel like I'm still really knowledgeable into that spec, because every time I queue arenas, I'm still queuing into most of the highest rated Frost mages on the US servers. So I feel like I know how they work and I know how they're best utilized. So the good thing about Frost mages is that they're more consistent with damage when it comes to Fingers of Frost from Frozen Orb and Pet Nova. They can actually do damage outside of deep freezes because of this. And also Fingers of Frost is not purgeable or spell stealable, which makes it easier to control your damage when set up. As for Fire mages, it makes it really hard to set up versus good players because they can just actually spell steal or purge your hot streaks, which will completely shut down your burst. Also, Frost has deep freezes without Nova because of Fingers of Frost, and also they have extra roots. One downside, which is not even that big of a deal, is that they have less mobility when ramping up their icicles, which is their Frost mastery. But I feel like it's kind of worth the con. As for Fire, it's more of an upfront gameplay with Dragon's Breath and stuff. You kind of have to take advantage of this and play more offensive. I'm not saying Frost can't play offensive. Frost is really offensive, if not more offensive than Fire actually. But with Fire, since you have Dragon's Breath, you have to really be up in their face and control the fight with it. So the good thing is about Fire is that they have a lot more mobility. All their abilities are either instants or cast while moving, except for Polymorph and Frost Shot. And also they have really strong contained bursts in deep freezes if you line it up correctly. Also, like I said earlier, they have a lot more added control with Dragon's Breath, which can really be the downfall or the savior of your game. Like, it can really flip a game that's looking really bad into a win just because Dragon's Breath is such a clutch ability. I'm actually going to make a video in the near future going over how to best optimize Dragon's Breath, so keep an eye out for that. The bad things about Fire is that their setup is really hard to actually pull up efficiently with palm altar combos. You have to actually time it really well, which takes a lot of practice, and it leaves no room for mistakes. If you make a mistake, a slight 0.5 second mistake with altar time, you can lose out on a pyro, which could have been the kill. Also, Fire has terrible consistent damage outside deep freeze unless you're shattering with Novas, but you don't have that many Novas, you're limited compared to Frost because you need it to actually deep freeze since we don't have Fingers of Frost. So you can really burst a lot in your deep freezes, but outside of your deep freeze you're kind of useless when it comes to scoring kills in high rated arenas. I think if Fire had Fingers of Frost, which it would obviously be stupid, but if we did, Fire would be much stronger than Frost in my opinion, because you would have Fingers of Frost and Dragon's Breath. But that's one of the big reasons that makes Fire weak, is that their main source of damage can be easily stopped. So why do people play Frost? Like I said before, evidently Frost is a spec that most high rated competitive mages play. If you actually look up the arena ladders, you'll notice there's only 2 high rated Fire mages right now, and the rest are all Frost. Frost is mainly just played more competitively because of the ability to stay offensive at all times without being stopped so easily. And also, when it comes to beginner gameplay, it's a lot easier to pick up than Fire. Although like high end, Fire is actually not that much harder to play like setup wise. It's very different from Frost for sure. But once you get the hang of it, it's not actually that hard. The hardest part is just trying to get started and going over that learning curve. I actually started playing Fire first. I didn't play Frost and Mop. I just started off as Fire, but for the first few months I actually played it totally wrong, which is to be expected. Most mages, not just competitive mages, just tend to play Frost because you can just pick it up and start doing decent with it without having to practice and go over the hard path for a long period of time. This is why you see so many frost mages out there, no matter what rating you're at. And also most people expect mages to be playing frost because that's the norm. That's the mainstream spec that is expected to be played. And if someone sees a fire mage playing, they won't really accept you as a partner because they don't really see it succeeding unless you are someone that's already been high rated with it, which is pretty rare to see. But let me tell you this, if you want to play fire, don't be discouraged. I said this before in the past as well. It does have a learning curve to it, but once you practice and get over it, you will have a lot of fun burning shit. You just have to get into the mindset of just enjoying the process. Enjoy the practice. Enjoy your journey on the way to getting better. Otherwise, you're just not going to have fun. And the whole point of this game is to have fun. So just enjoy it as it is, and eventually the good things will come.